Greetings and welcome back. Welcome back to my channel for another video. First and foremost, I'd like to greet each and every one of you and extend a happy December, and to those who celebrate, happy holidays. This video, as you can see, is titled Todd Bridges, Him Too. Now, I titled this because of the bombshell, if you will, disclosure, or perhaps non-disclosure of actor Christian Keys that has set social media abuzz amid his disclosing that he has been SA'd, meaning abused, for at least, reportedly, 16 years by a Hollywood mogul. Now, there has been much speculation, but there has been no name or names, to my knowledge, that has been confirmed as of yet. And quite honestly, I do not know if that will happen. There are many people that suggest that he should absolutely disclose this person or persons involved. Others suggest he may wait until he gets legal representation, unless he already has that. Again, there have been comments that go towards each portion of the spectrum. We also have heard many other stories of people coming forward alleging, and I must say alleging, to be prudent and responsible, that they too have been victims of such abuse. Now, there is a hashtag that has been out, which is the brother, if you will, of Me Too. This is Him Too. And this hashtag evolved and generally was used to defend men against false, rape allegations and accusations, and it became the antithesis as a call for fairness towards men during SA hearings by asserting that men should not be implied as guilty before the SA hearings begin. Now, before I proceed on with this video, let me, as I normally do for those that follow, present to you the Fair Use Act disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, which states allowance is made for fair use of copyrighted material for purposes of commentary, criticism, news reporting, research, education, teaching, and or scholarship. It provides for the legal, non-licensed citation and or incorporation of copyrighted material by others which might be infringing under other circumstances. And most needed is the viewer discretion disclaimer. The following broadcast contains mature themes and situations intended for adults. Viewer discretion is advised. And now that those formalities are out the way, let's get into this video. Now, many of you may remember Todd Bridges. Todd Bridges is photoed in the middle, and you see him on the far left, along with the late actor Conrad Bain and Gary Coleman. And towards the right, you'll see another photo of Todd Bridges. Todd Bridges is one of many childhood stars that grew up in my era. And yes, I had a huge, as Donald Trump would say, silent H, huge crush on Todd Bridges, among a couple of others, which includes Sean Cassidy. Yes, I did. I remember the magazines where all of these people were featured at one point in time, and I would rip out those pages and plaster them against my wall as a young little girl. But anyway, enough with that. Todd Bridges, known as Todd Anthony Bridges, portrayed Willis Jackson, as you can see, on the hit show Different Strokes. Again, here he's pictured with Conrad Bain, who played his adopted father alongside of Gary Coleman. Now, Gary Coleman, who along with Conrad Bain and Dana Plato, as a matter of fact, was also in this sitcom, but she too passed away. But Gary Coleman was known for not only his wit and those chubby cheeks, but for his tagline, "What you talking about, Willis?"
What you talking about, Willis? 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 What you talking about?
That show garnered support and viewership all over the world. And ironically, one of the shows that had Arnold's little friend Dudley touched on abuse. It was a heartbreaking show, and one of the few that brought abuse and grooming to the forefront. Now, several years ago, Todd Bridges opened up and recounted being abused on the Dr. Oz show. And again, I implore you all, and I will say this ad nauseum, to conduct your own independent research. But reportedly, he opened up to Dr. Oz and spoke about pedophilia in Hollywood. And I emphasize Hollywood again as a preface to Christian Keys, who spoke about his trauma and his involvement with being harassed and abused at the hand or hands I'll just say, of the powers that be, according to actor Christian Keys. Bridges, as you can see, was a handsome young man, at least in my opinion, and the opinion of many, spoke on his own trauma at the young age of 11. Bridges alleged that he, too, was a victim of, I'll just say, intimate abuse of his publicist and family friend. I'll repeat that. His publicist and family friend, again at the age of 11. Willis went public in the year 2010 in his memoir entitled Killing Willis, Willis being the stage name Todd Bridges portrayed in Different Strokes. Again, Todd Bridges played Willis Jackson in Different Strokes. Bridges wrote about the man, who he only identified as Ronald, as the abuser, and stated that this occurred on 4 separate occasions while he starred on the sitcom Different Strokes. Bridges alleged and asserted that Ronald performed an act on him multiple times. Bridges went on to say that when it happened the second time, he thought it meant he was homosexual and that he was very confused. He believed he wasn't normal. And Bridges also wrote, it made him feel worse than he ever felt before about himself. Bridges went on to say that the 5th time, he mustered up enough courage to stop Ronald during the 5th encounter in his vehicle. Bridges went on to say he didn't know what happened, but he was tired of feeling bad about himself and had had enough. Bridges went on to say Ronald got angry after the rejection and that it scared him. Bridges stated he wasn't worried because no one could hurt him any more than he had already been hurt. Ronald, according to Todd Bridges, visited the Bridges home, and when Ronald walked in, Bridges physically attacked him. Later, he said that his mother understood what was going on, and after Bridges stated to his mother, he touched me, his mother ran to the kitchen and grabbed for a weapon. Sadly, Bridges states his father didn't believe him. His father didn't believe him. And many people question now why so many take so long to disclose their abuse. Much of it, I believe, is because many may not believe them, or if they're men, they definitely wouldn't believe them or ask, could it be more? Also, Bridges went on to say that other survivors, to include Corey Feldman, who also appeared on the Dr. Oz show, struggled to understand that the problem does go far beyond them, their abusers, or Hollywood itself. Feldman stated, it's bigger than what you really think it is. You think it's just your little small section. No, it's bigger. Todd Bridges opens up about his abuse. I want to present a short video, again, under fair use, where Todd Bridges discusses his plight in his own words. Again, fair use.
Well, I was 12 years old, and my publicist, he basically talked me into doing things that I didn't really want to do. Hadn't had sex before, and he kind of convinced me that this was the right thing to do, and kind of told me, like, don't tell your parents, you know, and he bought me a bicycle. He always kept doing things for me that I didn't quite really understand.
So we kind of seduced
I started at 11. Yeah, he seduced me, and he started at 11 years old to 12. And then finally one day, at 12 years old, some encounter with Dana Plato happened, and I realized that that was the right thing, and what he did was the wrong thing. And when he came to my house the next day, I attacked him. My mother knew right away what had happened, and my mother went after him. My dad stopped him, and my dad took his side, and then didn't believe me.
Wait.
And,
Your dad,
wait.
Your dad took his side. He didn't believe his own son.
Yeah, because, no, my dad, the guy did it. Predators are very smart. He set my father up to know that I was going to say something eventually. And he got in my father's ear and made my father, you know, told him that I was going to say something. And that it was all a lie. And so when I had told my father told my mom that I was lying. And my mom knew I wasn't lying because she could see in her child's face, because it happened to her when she was growing up, that I wasn't lying. And I just attacked the guy. And then after that, the guy stalked me for like 2 years, and that's when they had no stalking laws. You know, everywhere I went, that guy was still there. But see, the problem that we have to do is we have to figure out, you know, this bill was shot down in 2006, and we've got to get this bill passed. We have to make people realize that children need to be safe on these sets, and they're not safe because parents want their kids to be in show business so bad that they're willing to do anything, and they'll send them off with strange people.
So that was just a small portion of Todd Bridges speaking about his situation, and that was courtesy of CNN. CNN. Todd Bridges, SHOWBIZ, open field for abuse. For those of you interested in listening to the entire interview, which was very short, to say the least. Todd Bridges, unfortunately, had his run-ins with the law and substance abuse. However, he has since been clean and doing well, according to reports. Unfortunately, his story, along with others, because of, in my opinion, the bad, and unfortunately, no matter how much good one may do, sometimes when you make a mistake or mistakes, people tend to remember the bad over the good, or how much one has evolved and changed. Again, this was a brief video on Todd Bridges and his story that may not have received or will receive or garner as much attention as others, when in fact it should. All abuse should be highlighted and never forgotten. Thank you all for tuning in, and for those of you who like this video and any other videos, please give it a big thumbs up and leave any comments in the comment section, because I do review them. Thank you. Until next time, be safe, be well, and you know the rest. Be healthier.